Now with that new restorative justice community court kicking off in Chicago. It's the second of its kind in the city, and they are already starting to hear cases on Monday.
Yeah, and joining us to talk a little bit more about this is Amy Campanelli. She is the Cook County Public Defender. Hey, Amy, thank you so much for joining us again this morning.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, who are we talking about here? What kind of cases? And can you kind of give us an example of somebody that deserves this kind of restorative justice that comes to mind?
Well, the cases that are going to be screened in are going to be nonviolent felonies and misdemeanor cases. Cases like drug cases, retail theft, maybe stolen cars, some burglaries. I said drug cases already, things like that. Clients are going to be from the ages of 18 to 26 years old, young men and women who we think we can get obviously on the path to be productive members of society.
And clarifies for us a little bit more. Break it down how this program will actually work and who makes a decision about who qualifies for the program. Is it your office? Is it the prosecutor's office?
So it's the prosecutor's office. They screen the cases in, and they're screened from a community. We're going to open 2 new courts, one in Avondale and one in Inglewood. So the crime or the people involved in the crime will have to be from those communities, and then they will be screened in by the prosecutor. However, there are referrals from other defense attorneys can refer a case in if someone missed a case and it slipped through the cracks. But there are some guidelines on what kind of cases and where the person has to live or where the crime is committed to get into the court.
All right, well, people are watching right now, and I want you to help them understand, because a lot of people out there watching think, oh, these are people that are just getting a pass here, and that, nobody's watching them, working with them to keep them from continuing with their criminal behavior. Talk to us about what you're doing there.
So it's the exact opposite of that. What happens is a person gets screened into court, a young emerging adult, and we wrap our arms around this adult. What happens is a peace circle is formed. Now, the lawyers are not involved in this process. Community steps up and brings together the victim and the accused in a peace circle. And the accused has to accept responsibility for what they've done. And what they do in this peace circle, which is completely confidential with members of the community, is they form a repair of harm agreement. So the offender understands the harm they've caused to an actual victim or to the community itself. And then they look at the offender and why the crime is committed. We get to the root of why this person is committing crime and how do we repair the harm to the community, but also how do we help the offender? Do they need mental health treatment? Do they need drug treatment? Do they need housing? Do we need to help get them back into school? So then this contract is formed. Then it goes to court, and we have staffings in court, and we sit around with the offender. And like I said, there's case managers who work with this person very closely, day to day. This is not like a traditional court. This is court where we're looking at alternative justice here, so that in the end, if they successfully complete the program, which could be anywhere from 6 months to 2 years long, and they graduate, then they will not have a conviction on their hands.
Let's expand on the peace circle a bit here. Who is in that peace circle, and why were they chosen to be in the peace circle?
Well, first of all, they're trained circle keepers, we call them, and they're trained in restorative justice practices and working with people to discuss harm and discuss empathy and other community members who are the social service providers in the community, right? Because we need the social service providers to give the treatment for the offender if that's needed, or to set up community service. Let's say I damaged property or I stole from a store, right? We want to make that business owner whole. So perhaps we're going to ask that offender to do community service in the community, to build relationships with people in the community. Because we know if you build relationships with people, that helps people grow and it makes you a better person, right? Productive relationships, not relationships that lead to bad behavior. We're trying to stop the bad behavior, give people a second chance. Some of my clients, as you know, never really had a first chance, right? So let's get them on the path to where they can be productive citizens and be part of their community in a good way.
All right. Amy Campanelli, thank you so much for answering our questions this morning about the new restorative justice court launching in the city. A lot of people have many questions, and I believe you touched on many of them just now. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.